Hey gang, Mocha Boy here. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning back in. So this next attack, this attack was by Bob, who sits in the number 30 position, and this was their number 13 base. So at number 13 base with that was a Town Hall 10 multi-target Infernos, but really low other point defenses. And he threw GoHo at this, but a GoHoWiWi derivative where he ended up increasing the number of witches and dropping the number of hogs. Now, the reason that was done was both number one, to overwhelm this set of defenses, but also create enough distractions for the multi-target Infernos in order for the hogs to make it in. Now, if you look at the way that these defenses are laid out, there's this break right here. And that means that if you were to send in hogs, you need to pick a path that puts them on pretty much a direct path into that first Inferno. And it's tricky because hogs won't last long under that much fire, but if you send enough hogs, remember, a multi-target Inferno can only target five troops at one time. And if they move fast enough, they can jump on top of this Inferno and then take care of it. Now, this particular attack line presented itself very well, so we decided to send in the attack in from this corner and then just see what happened on the other side. But so the strategy for this was going to be, apart from the lure, pathing the hogs into that first Inferno and then raging into the remaining Inferno. Now, this is a big gamble. You never know if you're going to have enough hogs to get to that to get to the other side of the base, but in this case it ended up working out. Now this CC was not full. I only think it was about half full, but it doesn't matter because he brought the same amount of troops that he would bring to counter that CC regardless. So even if it had been full, it wouldn't have been a difference. He still would have been able to process them. But this was just a really crazy attack. You would never think that hogs would work against a base like this, but in this particular case, it worked out perfectly. So he's got his level 4 golems going in at the AQ, and again, that's really just to soak up damage from the AQ as well as the point defenses, and then just a buttload of witches. Now, again, this is one of those questions that come up quite frequently, which is where do you deploy your hogs from? And this is one of those scenarios where you want to send them in as a high-low support team. In this particular case, again, really their goal in deploying from this side was to make as quick a beeline to this Inferno tower as possible. And although Infernos do stop the healing effect, that doesn't mean that out of the 20 hogs that got deployed, only 5 of them can be targeted anyway, so that heal is still working on the other 15. So just something to consider there with how to deploy your heals. So they're starting to make their way around. Notice they're starting to hook, and now they've got nowhere left to go except for that Inferno tower. He's got the heals already in place, so that once that goes down, the hogs get a recharge, and then they can continue to move on through the rest of the base. Now the kill team's still working their way through, and all of his witches are still alive. I believe he's got his 5 or 6 witches, still spawning skeletons. The hogs have made it to the other side of the base, and that's where he deploys his rage. He rages the hogs directly into that Inferno. That goes down. The hogs have done their job. Now it's up to the kill team to come through and clean up the rest of the base. But I mean, this was a multi-staged attack where he was able to kind of goose the numbers a little bit and rely on different teams to do different things at different times. And that was the hogs to go in and process the Infernos, but then the witches and the remaining kill team to go through and clean up the rest of the base. So this was a pretty crazy attack. I was so happy to see that it actually ended up working out. Again, this base didn't present any spaces for double giant bombs, so it didn't really make a difference in the end. We would have hogged this base one way or the other, but we were surprised to see that GoHo with a few more witches and fewer hogs was as effective as it was against this base. So great job again there, Bob.